for our afternoon is the afternoon of Tuesday, October 14th, 2025. And we are only 5 hours exactly away from the start of the next Dodgers game. So that's all that really matters. But I guess we'll talk a little bit about trading in between. Just to remind everybody, this presentation is for educational purposes only. The opinions expressed are going to be those of the presenter. That's going to be me the whole time. All trades presented should be considered hypothetical and should not be expected to replicate in a live trading account. That being said, today I'm mostly trading in a couple live accounts, which I'll show you. It's been a bit of a grind and not the most fun trading session for me. Came back from my Pilates session and self-care to a huge reversal, and for the first time in a while, also sort of caught in some silliness in the Russell. So my purpose right now is long the Dow Jones, short a little Dow. Let me just take one right here and resell here.
Order submitted.
And I am short. This is the one that's hurting. So, I don't talk a whole lot about this, but I might as well mention. I mean, one of the things that, if you've been doing this as long as I have, that totally gets in your head, especially since most of the time I trade the treasury markets with a decent amount of fundamental research that I pay quite a bit of money for. I still mostly just trade it technically using the same system that you see here, chart on the left, which would be called the range trader. That being said, there's more inputs into decisions that I make over there. Here, in what I teach and train on and getting through these prop programs and managing risk in small accounts, it is predominantly about just purely technical trading and keeping it relatively simple. That being said, I just get in my head on days like today, and just really for a long, long time, things are just so telegraphed, and usually they don't work like that. And here's what I mean, is that the algos are just so keyed on, oh, Powell said this, and as such, we're definitely going to get a rate cut this, and maybe two this year. Rate cuts mean good for small caps, and the fundamentals behind it don't matter at all. So today we had a huge reversal in the small caps, and you can see it's just pushing harder. So I mean, might as well go up 2.5%, right? But on a technical basis, the strategy is getting hurt here because this slope is just brutal. And I had an entry here and an entry here and an entry here. So a third, and a third. I can't do any more, and I'm just going to take this heat probably into the close. And it's just frustrating because from a fundamental standpoint, this is really, really, really silly. Now, there can be shifts of capital, of course, into these small caps. And then they're just right back at buying all these total bullshit companies that make zero money. But anyway, that's the way the markets work these days. But the catalyst today is it's just frustrating because telegraph stuff, normally it's not that easy. And we're in markets where these moves are just telegraphed, and I'm not really sure why I continue to fight them, if you will. So there's two overlapping things I wanted to discuss. One is that this slope and this kind of move is not to be shorted. So really, the fact that I'm in this Russell is silly and it's annoying me. Number two, it's okay because it's a 3-lot, and I mean I can control risk here. And overall, I'm up nicely on the day here. So I think if I go to this scene right here, no, this one right here, nope, maybe this one. Here we go. So that's the account that this trade is in. So again, I'll live, still positive on the day, but anyway, that kind of price action just sort of annoying to me. So if we come back to here, we can sit on this unprofitable position in the M2K, or sit and watch this here in the S&P. There's not a whole lot to really work off of. The background for today, though, was that we had over 100% ATR to start the day. So I said this morning in my trade room, hey, this is going to be should be a really good day. And in the morning, it was pretty good. And we've seen these V bottoms again and again and again and again. So just a turnaround Tuesday to the upside. The key, though, I hope for most of you, and I'm still long up here, but I was long for a decent percentage of this move in some of the prop programs. I disconnected most of them because I was already up my max gains that I like to do. So I just have a couple accounts connected here that are red actually that I'm working on. So I'll show you those in a little bit. I don't have a giveaway today, but we can, for fun, add up the P&L today and see what ends up happening. So when you have the range expansion, you end up having volatility bands that should, in theory, be pretty easy to handle. And we certainly had that today. Now, if I wasn't, just as I discussed this, I'm just going to close this. I'm going to close it because this is really a short up here, folks. So as long as we hold the 67.15s, I don't need to be long this anymore. We took most of it out. What we do is I'm going to attach the order up here and just trade this strategy properly for the afternoon. For the majority of the afternoon here, the first part of the afternoon for the last, East Coast afternoon, I was just long little stretches here. And you can see that the close profit is up about $473. I don't know if that's on the screen. This is a real live account. It's the Acorns to Oak Trees methods where I'm showing the tracking accounts. I call them tracking accounts. Use live accounts to trade in a very similar manner with small amounts of capital, grow them each month, take a payout from them, and then apply the same thing over to the prop programs. I've been showing this as well, and I wanted to show you how freaking lame NinjaTrader is. Okay, so if you've been following along, I took let me move this over so you guys can see it, or I'll just move my head down here. Okay, so I took a $2,050 payout from this on Thursday, right? I think it was Thursday. They finally paid me today, and they didn't pay me though yet. The money will be there tomorrow, so it's a 3-day float. It's totally nonsense, as I've discussed before. NinjaTrader, you guys should do better with your treasury department. Anyhow, look at how screwed up this is. So this is the 1 week, and it still shows a balance of 72.74. So it doesn't reflect the money taken out. And then what the hell is going on here? I can assure you there was never a high water mark of 53.08. This price doesn't exist. Okay, because as you can see here, realized is down 132. I'm down about $160 today in this account. So this math isn't mathing. So anyway, whatever. I don't know what's going on with this firm, but they're good enough. Deposit an account there. Connect first to NinjaTrader data if you need to. But as you can see here, the sting here is also from the same thing, from being short the Russell. So if the Russell comes in a little bit, maybe we'll be all right over there. Let's just sit here and watch it because it's probably not planning on coming in. I took the deposit, the withdrawal on Friday. Okay, so today's Tuesday. They took the money out. It's still not in my bank account, so it's going to be about 3 days. I know. That's why the fundamentals of anything are the fundamentals, right? I mean, and look, honestly, I don't know the inputs of the Russell. It's 2,000 stocks. 40% of them actually lose money. The ones that make money aren't very profitable. Everything is just a vehicle for money. So, that's the world. That's the world that we live in. So the other thing that I wanted to cover today is I had a Trader Talk Tuesday with members of my community here, so you guys will probably know. We spoke to, I've been calling him Sam the whole time. His name is John. And over at TDG, we're now going to be introducing a little bit of the mental game, which I haven't been much of a proponent of. I think it's necessary to a certain point, but John's done a really good job of convincing me that there is a definite place, especially with newer traders, or even maybe some experienced traders, in working on the mental side of trading. And if Mark Douglas's YouTube channel is any indication, and that's just warmed over stuff that he's done a long time ago, people are gravitate towards that. So that will be something that we'll be adding to our mix, if you will. He calls himself a performance coach, and what I'm going to do is tomorrow I'm going to put a link to the conversation with him in here. There's others, of course, out there. Jared Tendler and some very popular people, but we'll have that as part of what we do in TDG as well. Just up and away, right? Is this going to be all-time highs for the Russell? I don't know. I can't remember. I'm not sure why. It's pretty much, yeah, it's all-time highs plus a little bit. I can't figure out why this extreme turn on this one chart paints as yellow. I went in and tried to fix it. It should be red. But anyway, this is the extreme turn. Another reason that I felt, comfortable, if you will, being short here is that the signal has come off. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars over 3.5 hours of a short signal, and now the signal's come off. So in theory, you get a little respite at that point, but that is not happening yet. So one thing that's really important to note is that there are no more ads here. So this is the anatomy of handling a losing position. So the nice thing about the frameworks that I show here and teach in my trade room, I think the nice thing about it, I would suggest that many traders that follow what I do would agree, is that you know when you are double donkeying down, right? You're aware of when you are doing things that are truly not allowed, and when you really are. We have to start using the term martingale correctly, because martingale is doubling the unit size on each additional event. That's not the same as adding and adding and adding. It would be the same if you added 1 and then added 2 and then added 4, where the goal is to clear a unit. I don't know if you guys know the terminology relative to gambling, but adding to unprofitable positions, or even adding to profitable positions at levels that don't exist, is not allowed. And if you just do that, then you will keep your sizing correct. So for instance, the recap of this trade is the first sell, the second sell, and the third sell are all slightly outside the bands, okay, slightly outside the bands, but mostly in conjunction with levels that exist. Now you could say, okay, well, you're outside the bands, you could put another one on here. No. So my max position size is 3, and we have no level to sell on the range trader, other than if you want to say that the extreme turn signal coming off gives you justification, and there's nothing here either. So this is fully in graceful exit mode. So the moment I get a retracement of any kind, I will take off one of the contracts and just reduce my size. So I'm just going to use a very simple, like, measured move, because there's not a whole lot else you can work with up here. So from some point, do we get a retracement of that level? A retracement to that, of that length, I should say. A retracement of that length is what I really meant to say. Over here on the Dow Jones, which is the instrument that, of course, hindsight being 2020, if I only traded the Dow Jones, which is what I suggest to people to do when they're first starting out, look, it's boring, but it doesn't get you in the situation that you see over here, right? I mean, it can, but for the most part, it's a little bit more manageable, and you see that it has managed to come back inside its bands, giving me the opportunity to be a seller at 46,722, and also a seller at 46,755. So those two levels right there. And in theory, it's providing a small hedge, if you will. It's not a hedge. It would be a hedge if it was long, right? And we were truly hedging. Long NASDAQ, short Russell, or something like that. I don't know if anyone ever followed some of the stuff. I believe that Tom Sosnoff has stepped away a little bit from actively trading on their broadcast streams, but man, it used to be painful. Good thing that those guys were so good as pit traders, and that they sold Thinkorswim, because I just can't believe in what they show and talk about that they could possibly be profitable in a way that they could teach others how to do the same thing. Because my God, they used to fight strong markets and talk about the delta between the Russell and the NASDAQ and have these inverted products or correlated, uncorrelated products where you could be short 2 Russell for 1 long NASDAQ, or the reverse, short NASDAQ, long Russell. And those things just look like dumpster fire toxicity, at least to me, but what do I know? All right, so we keep ticking up here. So the logic for this signal to no longer be present is just built into. I have my settings here at I think 90. Let's take a look. There's a question about some of the settings. I think it should be 84. Yeah, it's 84, and ADX period is 3 with 80 and 24. I guess if I put the upper level at 86, sorry. If I go 86 there and apply, maybe the signal will still be there. No, it's gone. Yeah, so it visually looks like it, but it should be waning in theory. Beneath the surface. beneath the surface. What's good about this whole thing is, one, we'll see how I manage this, and if it never comes back in, I'm just going to close it because I don't hold any trades, profitable or unprofitable, in this tracking account. Remember, this is the account up here. The balance is 10,700. Took 1950 out of that one too, which was the profits. So we're up 700 for this month. I know we're halfway through the month. I didn't take the profits out from last month, so up another $700, and maybe I go red today if this thing doesn't reverse and keeps going higher. We'll see. But the point I'm making is that while this frustrates me, and you heard the opening, it's meaningless, right? In the grand scheme of things, it's micros and it's a controllable loss. And does give me the ability to potentially reduce my size on any retracement should we get it. We have 5 more minutes left in this candle. We'll see if they want to buy the next candle as well. I'd like to think I have better prices than anyone who sold here or here or here. The only one who has better prices than me is someone who sold at R2, and you have a much better price than me if you didn't effing mess around with the NASDAQ. Excuse me, with the Russell. Friends don't let friends trade the Russell. If it's your first time hearing my stream, this is serious stuff. I joke about it, but so Russell used to trade on ICE and used to cost me $139 or $134 per month for like a decade just for that feed, so that I could lose, I think it was over $250,000. I'm pretty sure I lost about $250,000 trading the Russell. It's just a disaster. It's illiquid. It's stupid. You can't, the Dow Jones, you can look at something and you can say, oh, well, what's happening today? Goldman Sachs is up, this is down. You get an internal sense of it. The NASDAQ, all we have to do is look, of course, at NVIDIA, and we have a sense of what's going on there. Whereas the Russell is, for a time being, you had to deal with the Russell relative to what was happening with, what was it? GameStop. At one point, GameStop had the highest weighting inside the Russell. So, maybe the logic is broken on there. Let me see if it's still here over here. Oh, yeah. So I think something is going on there. You're correct. So if we check out the let me go over here. Looks like the condition is still present. So, you're right. I have to see what's going on here. Maybe let me just remove it because the colorization is wrong, and I'm going to just remove it off of here. Let me go up here for a moment to, gosh, I keep going to that one. Let me move this over here. Scene 3. There we go. This is the Russell over here, and you can see the condition is still present. So, should be looking at this. By the way, over here, I am short really small the S&P. And let me just put in an order to sell at the +2s today, which will be 67.34. So that's the look up there. This made a little money today, I think. Account history, yeah, $159. I guess you can't see that. Let me move my head out of the way again. I'll try to watch the chat. If I ever have an account number or a price or something obstructed, I know you guys were freaking out a little bit about price being obstructed by my ebook and stuff. Price I'm less concerned about, but I don't want to ever, hide an account or account value or P&L or whatever. I want you to see everything that you can here, especially this is a live account. This is at Tasty. Speaking of, did someone just say that they heard that Savnov is he's stepping away from... Oh, he's working on a new project. Guy can't stop, man. He sells it for $1 billion. Thinkorswim, Doe, Tasty. He's a great entrepreneur. He's a really great entrepreneur. Especially since what they teach is how to put on multi-leg positions that cost a lot in transaction fees. What's their motto? Trade often, right? Trade small, trade often. So I'm down with the first part. Trade small. Trade small. All right. Now, this is enough of a move, even though it's not measured yet, that I'm going to put in a buy stop here.
Order submitted.
That's how conservative I am when you get the first move. I know that seems like the silliest little thing, but see how we chopped around right in here before moving higher? So I'm not taking it all off, but I'm going to get rid of it right here. Get rid of it.
Order filled. Order submitted.
Suck it. Come on, baby. Here we go. Just for some context, I know most of you seem to be returning, and a lot of you that are chatting are already familiar, but if you're first time ever watching what's going on here, today is a really important concept, I think, in terms of how I'm going to manage this trade, right? I want to be really impatient with a loser, okay? But Rod, you were holding this unprofitable position. Yes, but I'm waiting for this move, no ads, and if it didn't happen, and I didn't get any retracement at all, I would just have to close it for a bigger loss. Now, what I'm doing is what I would call, all right, now I'm just going to take it right there. So I'm just going to take that off, and now move this down. I just want to get my size down to literally just one contract. I don't want to fight this for the rest of the afternoon here. So now my CURPOS, which stands for current positions, is I'm short 2 Russell, and I'm short... I'm short. What the hell am I short over here? All right, short 2 Russell and short 2 Dow. So let me go ahead over to the Dow right here and take one off in this account right here.
Order filled.
So there you go. So let me just stay on this for just a moment, because what I'm going to do here is also reduce my size on the Russell.
Order filled.
Same thing. So I just get down to 1 contract. Now I have my loss for the day manageable. Remember, I don't know if you know, so in this account, I work with a $440 daily risk budget, a little less than 10% of the starting account. I get to that sometimes, but rarely. I'll hit my DRB on my live accounts once a quarter maybe, whereas in the prop programs I'll hit them once a month, maybe less than that, because I'm just taking on a lot more risk, of course, in the prop programs. But if you anchor yourself to the discipline of what you have going on here, then you're going to be in a lot better spot. Because everything I do, and the reason I'm broadcasting and doing this is because I think, as I say all the time, what you're seeing on the screen, this is real, this is possible. This is this is real money, this is real money. But it's real approachable money too. I have some large accounts. There's no reason to show those. The trading style and what you do there is completely different. Plus, as I say, I'm not trying to hide anything, but I trade options on futures over there. That's not something you can do in any prop programs, and it's not something that turned out to be as popular as I was hoping it would. If more and more people will start to interact with that content, I might do more of that. But for the most popular stuff right now, of course, is these prop programs. And you can call me a shill, or that I'm only doing it for the affiliate commissions. The affiliate commissions are nice because a lot of people are bozos and they have no success with these programs and they keep rebuying and rebuying and rebuying. I want you to invest the smallest amount of money possible, learn how to do it with these programs, and then if you have anything left over, come become a lifetime member of my trading community. I'm unapologetic about promoting my trading community because the primary offer there is just a one-to-many. It's what you're hearing right now. If this vibes with you, check the description down below. You can check it out for 3 months for $249. Okay? And then you can also get an indicator that over here is not working. No, it does work. The extreme turn does work. Okay, here we go. Suck it, market. Come on in a little bit. All right, so I'm going to run this buy stop down a little closer. And look, we got basically the measured move that I was talking about, right? So we'll see if it goes any further. I didn't really draw that very well, but there's the measured move that we were talking about. Let me go to the right chart so you can see it. Okay. One vote for options. I will get to the options. Let's grow the community to the point where we have a lot of. I was mentioning today, and Jeremy, you're a member, and many others are. I am going to honor my commitment to make the lifetime more and more valuable, so that I know there's a lot of people that are doing it on a month-to-month basis, but the thing is that follow for that 3 months, apply yourself, and you will see the path to getting one payout from one firm for 1 month that will cover everything that you ever have to invest in TDG or yourself, right? And I'll be here until Bitcoin goes to 1 million or HNT goes to 50, which is definitely not happening. I guess if CRO went to $5, I'd have to quit too, because I have close to 1 million CRO now. By the way, what a trade. You guys are all getting fart coin liquidated on Friday, and I picked up CRO at 9.5 cents. And 30 minutes later, it was at 16 cents. Anyway, lucky duck. What are you going to do?
Order filled.
There we go. So stopped out there. And I'm going to run a buy stop right here as well.
Order submitted.
Just protect the profits that are coming in. Protect the profits.
Order filled.
Wow, that's nice. Suck it. I don't know what happened there, but I'll take it.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
Got a little bit of a jittery market here.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
All right. Nice. All right. So every once in a while you get lucky too, which luck works. I like luck. All right. Here we go. See if we can take that off. Okay. And I'm going to run a buy stop here.
Order submitted.
And I'll put a short back up here.
Order submitted.
Okay, so coming over here, see this, let me come over to here and you can watch. I'm just going to close this. You know, you get that kind of rapid move there. Sometimes I just, I just take the profits.
Order filled.
Let me go, what's the right account here? Right over here. Okay, so see I'm short here, so I'm just going to buy this back. Order rejected. Isn't that great? You can't fucking place in, sorry, excuse my language, excuse my French. God, that is the stupidest thing. God dang it. I just can't stand that. Anyway, I had a resting order above. You cannot buy and sell the same instrument with a working order at Tasty on their TradingView integration. It's just like the worst. It's so bad. All right.
Order filled.
I'm going to start to take off some of this stuff over here.
Order filled.
I don't even know what happened. Because I had a bunch of positions on in my other stuff. All right, let's go right here. I think this is the only position I still have on. Was short a little bit of Dow right here. So let's not let it come back above here.
Order submitted.
Lots of nice volatility in here. Two-way action. Anyone catch part of that? Were you on the short side there? So congratulations if you were. Ends up being, a pretty nice day. I'm French. We do not swear like this. Congratulations if you guys caught some of that. What screen am I on? Am I on the right screen? Yeah, okay. So my only position left is just short Dow. And let's put this up right here. So there we go. Back up to 5,200. Classic get out of Dodge too early, huh? What are you going to do?
Order submitted.
That wasn't even market on close orders. Anyway, clearly have some tape bombs, and if you're watching the markets, I should have led with this. The whole day today, even on the way up, the way down, everything, you could just see the jitteriness in the markets, right? And generally, jitteriness will lead to more downside. Today, they popped it quite a bit, and that'll happen as well. All right. Break even, baby. All right, coming up here for just a moment. On that move there, you can see that. So that's a great day for me over on a $10,500 account to make $500. I don't know about you, but I think that's
Order filled.
5%. It'll work for me. But back over here, stopped out. So all flat there. Over here, we made $8.55. And then I don't have a giveaway today, so it doesn't really matter. But that's these are the only accounts that I still had connected. So made money in most accounts except for this one right here. Guess I lost $82. And all the other accounts were solid ass green today, except for over here on here. I want to start to just close these.
Order filled.
Position
You can
closed.
see I had some nice
Order
shorts here
filled.
on the NASI.
Position closed.
But I don't think, I don't know if, lost money in some of these accounts, made money in some of the others. I'm still doing the wire-to-wire challenge. I don't know if anyone's paying attention, but how long is it going to take me to get the $6,000 profit on the first Tickblazes that I ever bought, first prop shops that I ever bought? Anyway, I still got the wire-to-wire challenge going on. It's a little silly, but we still have it going on. So who knows? It's so funny. So funny. Let me see if we can just suck it a little bit more here. God, I'm having so many problems with connecting to stuff today. All right, let's just close some of this shit out.
Order fill. 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 Order filled.
I'm just trying to get flat.
Order filled. 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 Order filled.
Anyway, nice sell-off there, huh? Did well and made $1,000 in at Top Step. All right, now let's talk a little bit about this red candle that we have forming now, right? So members of my trade room will know that we have this concept of an expansive candle. An expansive candle is anything around 25% to 30% ATR. So for instance, this candle right here on the Dow Jones, let's look at one on the S&P for instance. Okay, so this candle on the S&P, the ATR right now has expanded. So we have an 87 ATR. I'm not very good at math. Let's just round it up to 90. Let's say we had a 90, okay? So about 30-ish percent, 25 or 30 points. Okay, let's do a 25 point candle. So 11s down to 72s. So that would certainly qualify, right? So when you get an expansive candle, a move like this, okay, regardless of where price is, when you have a candle like this, try generally not to fight it. Just don't mess with candles like this. Okay, we got 15 more minutes left in this candle. And I would say don't mess with it on the short side or the long side. You can try. You look like an absolute hero if you end up catching it. Like, well, it's a red candle. It's pushing further. I'm just going to short here. You know, that's the equivalent of selling into the hole. If you're watching the markets right now, which you all are because you're watching this stream, they're whipping all over the place. You know, we're in, as if I usually describe this as replay mode, but in live markets. Like we're at 3 times speed on replay mode, but we're in a live market. So one of the situationally fluent things that I suggest people start to do is stay out once this candle has happened, and it can be the same on the upside, right? Trying to short what we call a Kermit candle, right? Kermit gets his Viagra, and you're trying to fight that. So, just a little tip: I will tend to, regardless of time of day, regardless of situation, I'll tend to try to stay out of those. Now, if it pushes all the way down to here, to the prior session low.
Order submitted.
So let me actually just put the trades in there. I'm fine selling what's basically an SOS 3 up here, which is T-line. So what I'm talking about right up here, SOS stands for strength of signal. So one of the hardest things to do is to actually sort of stack a confidence rating. So all I do is look for areas of confluence where a number of different things are happening. In this case, it's the POC for the day, which looks like it's going to stick there at 67.15-ish. The T line, which started to flatten out, that's a 233 EMA, and an offer zone that I had driven up there. So that's 1, 2, 3, strength of signal 3. Does it mean you put on more inventory? No, it's just something to start to consider. And eventually, it might be a time in which, you know, you look like a hero if you decided to build a short position up here because you said, oh, I got an SOS 3. I'm going to keep selling every little pop until I get some inventory on, and then you catch this drop here. Hindsight is always 20/20, very easy. So lots going on here. Opportunity to short up here. When I started the stream, I was actually long, and I'm glad I talked myself out of getting out of that long there because I was like, this is a short here, it's a flat or a short. So we got out of that, preserve some profit. And now we're talking about an expansive candle that's best to just do nothing. And we have the same expansive candle on every instrument here, right? So covered a lot of ground today. Any questions so far? These YouTube ads are really annoying. Can you stream in the trade room at the same time? Just buy an ad-free YouTube account. So there you go. The answer is no, I can't. I can, but it's a pain in the ass to stream in both places at the same time. Martman down $60 times 4 accounts. That's perfect. Who cares, right? That's great. All right, some of you guys got even on that. What's the reason for the dump? More sellers than buyers. So this is a good question. Do you get annoyed on the graceful exit on the Russell after I see the drop? No, not at all. In fact, you know what I was happy about was that, so I don't want to do the math on, from the 30s down to 07s or 8s, somewhere in here. I mean, that's quite a nice, that's about $350 on a 3 lot in the micros. But the answer is no. I was more annoyed with the price action as we started the stream. And in the conversation I had today with Coach John, we talked a little bit about that. I do have this mental resilience where, guys, I've just been trading for so long, and this is kind of just a video game to me. Nothing. In fact, what I want to say is I'm very happy with the fact that I got to do this graceful exit here according to exactly what I had said to everybody. I started the stream. You can go back and watch it because I think this is a good learning moment. Short 3 Russell, screaming against me. 3 is my max position. Entries were fine, and there was no additional ads. So that was the starting point. I said the measured moves are very small, but as soon as I get one, I'm going to reduce my size. And as I turned out, I reduced my size by 2 contracts, and then I just had 1 left. And this is where I took off the other one. And as it turned out, I ended up being profitable overall in the trade, although, not much. So how profitable was I overall today? The answer is $8 right here. $500 over here. So that's a really good question. And the answer is, for me, no. Because what did I do? I know this sounds cheesy and you hear it a lot, but just it really is true. And this is the one thing where I agree with a lot of other well-intended people that are talking about trading and the trading process, is that you really do want to focus more on the process as much as you can. And if you will become indifferent to the outcomes. And the whole idea behind the graceful exit and wanting to get out of this Russell position was, as I've said, sort of threefold. I didn't have any additional ads. I'm not campaigning around a price where I can do anything else. So it's just a losing position that I can do nothing with except manage risk. Okay? I can't, if I add, I'm doing the wrong thing. If I do not look to gracefully exit, I'm doing the wrong thing. So I'm very happy with the fact that I got to gracefully exit there, and the fact that the market just dropped right at that time across all stock, and that's just luck. But here's what happens. If you trade in this style and you keep your risk under control and you stay underneath your DRB, because once you hit your DRB, you should really stop. Days like Friday, if you have a $250 DRB, who cares? If you hit it in the first, the drop happened around 11-ish. Around, it was before I closed the trade room. So we started to see some jitteriness around 10:30 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30 Pacific. Some people might have been long right there and just, wow, hit their DRB, hit the close button, they're done. So what? Who cares what happened for the rest of Friday? Today, huge turnaround. Maybe you hit your DRB on the downside this morning. So what? Maybe you hit your DRB on the upside shorting too early today. So what? So what initially, right? You can't so what so many times that, there is such thing as death by many DRBs. That can't happen. But it puts you in a position where once you are tired of that happening, you might stay out a little earlier in the day. Just stay out for a little bit. Let the market open up a little bit. Or today, if you only traded the plus twos or the minus twos, I don't think we hit the minus twos on the way down. I know we didn't on the NASDAQ because I was calling for it because I'm short Qs. So I'm short, what are the Qs finally? The Qs are basically flat, right? They're down 64 bips. So I'm short still 1,800 Qs from an average price of 608.44s. So 608.44s, I'm short 1,800 Qs, and I am looking still for 585s. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, taken it all off on Friday, right, as I was chirping. So great question there. That was a good one. Let's see. We've got 7 more minutes left. Thanks, Todd. Not only was I following a process, I want to try to be as intellectually honest as I can during these streams so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. I think I talked through every aspect of that Russell trade, and my purpose to start the session was, and I'm not looking for kudos here, I'm looking for constructive feedback. I'm hopeful that many of you followed along with that thought process, whether you were in the position or not. Right? So, and I got lucky all around because generally I don't trade the M2K. It's not something that I trade. So we got lucky all around. So question, if I buy the MYM at T-line, you could here, but as I was just mentioning, we have these expansive candles, and I would tend to want to stay away from the expansive candles. And I'm up on the day, and so I'm kind of done. But it's a great question to ask because it's actually, it's different than the S&P, right? So the S&P T-line is a short and has worked out really well. On the Dow, T-line today could be a long, right? But I think the answer is going to be in these afternoon streams, 9 times out of 10, no. 9 times out of 10, we're not really adding additional positions at this time of day. If you got some things that you're working as the stream comes on around noon or 2 Central, fine. But if you get in the habit of putting on any new positions at this time of day, that's just a situational fluency thing, and you can decide. But Al's asking a good question. This is a long here on a pullback to T-line on the range trader. And I don't know where that was. Where was that level here? Let's just call it 450s, right? So right in here. So kind of in no man's land here. But you have a nice shelf of buyers that came in right here. Right there. Boom. Had some nice buyers come in there. And I wouldn't be surprised if we had another retest of that area before the close, or maybe right on the close. But guessing and talking about what's going to happen is just silly. It's just me filling time. Let me see. Do you guys know if there's any way to highlight questions versus in chat, or any way to highlight something? I know when I comment, it puts a highlight in here. I'd love to know the difference between just a comment, when you guys are saying what a dump and whatever, that's all fine, comment on what you're seeing. I'm just trying to see if there's easier ways that I can, how in the world do people do this if they have thousands of people watching and they want to actually see? Anyway, let me see. Do you get annoyed? I answered that. I'm not getting any ads once I start watching the stream. Okay. On the ads front, guys, I don't get any ads for anything. So I have YouTube Premium. I've always had YouTube Premium. Just buy YouTube Premium. Do you find the swing level indicator on your right side useful? How do you use it? Okay, so good question. I really like this swing indicator, and it's set to a 13 period swing. And by the way, I have the same thing up here on Tickblaze. So Tickblaze is another platform. Is it as stable as Sierra or MotiveWave or NinjaTrader yet? No, it's not. It's getting there. It's getting a lot better. What are the advantages of it? It's one-click install. If you become a member of my group, I'll give you access to this Discord, to this workspace if you want. It's the exact same one you're seeing on Ninja, and it requires zero setup. You only have to know two things: how to install it, which you can find a lot of places, and then how to open it. And believe it or not, I give it away for free, and then I have to do fucking customer support with people on how to install it and how to open it. So don't ask for it if you can't figure out how to open it. Snarky me. You guys are starting to wear me down. You really are. Not you, but the interwebs just starting to wear me down. Anyhow, the nice thing about Tickblaze and this desktop is that it's one-click install, and then you have access to the brick wicks and all the indicators except for the extreme turn, and you can even draw the fancy little, anyway, whatever. It's all set up over there. So back to the question about the swing levels, which are, again, on both charts. They're only going to be valid on these when you're using them in conjunction with these brick wicks, right? These modified Renkos. So what I like to do with them is see if, first of all, the length matters, size matters, the length matters. So what's going on here, since we're getting so much choppy weirdness right here, all these little swings, these are meaningless to me. None of these, I wouldn't even, my eye's not drawn to these at all. But there will be times if you go back, my eye is definitely drawn to this right here. You see this right here? Where we're putting in a swing and a swing and then here and here. Now these start to paint. Now this one ends up being so long after the fact. Okay, so this one is not here until this fall happens. But these are. And then once this happens after the fact, now I have a level up here that is it's much easier to see on these charts than on other types of charts. And I can just draw in this little offer zone here, right? So I have my own little offer zone that I can extend as far as I want to keep it over here. Okay, that's the end of the session here. Okay, and you'll see that this also corresponds to, I don't know if you guys can see this yellow line here. Can I get a 1 in the chat if you can see that yellow line? So what I'm going to do is put in a little offer zone there, and I would have that resting there. Now, imagine the day's over for now, but hopefully you guys can see this little yellow line. This is a volume profile that I have on this chart, and this is POC right here. Okay, so this is going to serve as a little bit of resistance as well. So the length matters, and then I use them to construct little bid zones and offer zones that I draw in. Is that helpful? You guys get that? Okay. President, all right, that's not a question. We hit the -2s on the Dow and then rocketed 1,000 points. Always sit out the first few minutes of the day and didn't take the long. Okay, that happens sometimes. Do you buy the MYM at T-line? I already answered that. Some of my best days are when woke up late. Yeah, I think you can. Don't know how. All right, well, if there's anyone that does know how to make the chat more useful from a highlighting standpoint, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I know I can do it in my trade room. I can do it on Zoom. I can do it on a stream that's happening on Discord, but I don't know how to do it here. Yeah, I don't want people writing in all caps. Live Q&A lets you set a prompt and get questions directly in a separate feed from your live chat. Click the plus button at the bottom of your live chat. All right, there you go. All right. Engage with my audience. Yeah, I've done this before, and all it does for me is it says, oh, start Q&A. All right, let's try this. Say something. Can you guys do this? I want to test this. Thanks, Calvin. Appreciate it. Hello? All right, I'm going to start the Q&A. What did that do? All right. Are you guys able to ask questions in here? Can you do something, and let me see if I see a question in here? Because right now all it says is hello. I know there's like a 20-second delay, so hang out for like 2 minutes. We'll see if we can figure this out. All right, so someone wrote hello. Okay, cool. Test question. All right, awesome. I appreciate that. So I love that. I think what I'll do is Can you answer this? Okay, thanks. Appreciate it, Calvin. So that's cool. So what I do now, what I'll know later on is we'll do a little test. I'll take periods of questions. Oh, I love this. Here's what we'll do. We can just blab away in the chat for a little bit, have a good time, and then we'll reserve these Q&As for questions, and you just can either hold your questions or answer them, and I'll go through questions at one time. That way we can just sort of, so that's very cool. How do I go back to, did you guys find it? Yeah, it looks like you guys are finding it. So I'm going to go back to the live chat and go back to the live chat, and I'm going to end the Q&A. Actually, if I don't end the Q&A, I think you guys can put questions in there, and then I can go to that a little bit later. Cool. All right, a little question. Rod, Apex published an Instagram showing top 5. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that, and I really do. I'm good friends with John. I'm not really that good friends with Daryl. I've become friendly with Vince and a lot of other people over there, and I still think it's the OG and one of the better firms. I really don't like that kind of promotion, highlighting that. So how is it possible? It's possible by a lot of those people, and I don't want to get in trouble with anybody here, but there's a lot of people that Apex shut off because they were accomplishing things like that. And I'm not exactly sure why they still allow some to do it. I'm not sure. But, I mean, it's not that hard. You buy the biggest accounts and you spin them up and you blow them up and then you pass them, or you spin some up and you just put on max size and skirt between the rules, and it's not that hard. I mean, it's like I spun up $7,500 and $10,000 to 100, 150. We got one account. We started with 7,500 in, I think it's during the financial crisis. So right around summer of 2010. And you know that I think the all-time lows on the S&P were right there around, I think in 2010, like March of 2010. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go like March of 2010. But I remember we took one of my partners put in 7,500 and I put in like 12.5, I think. So $20,000. We spun it up to just a little short of 300 grand. And that's real money. and that's with real margins. So 20 grand to 300 with real margins with one account, right? Not with 15 accounts, 20 accounts, whatever. So these things are possible in this fantasy land, and it's I'll just say it. It's a shame that Apex or anybody else promotes that. I've asked them, I've had sit down heart-to-heart meetings with them. Hey, can you create a program that has almost no rules except a soft daily drawdown and proper sizing? No one will buy it. I'm like, I think people will buy this, but no one will buy that. And, people want no daily loss limit, and they want this and they want that. And you can't argue with the fact that they do a lot of sales still with their existing programs. And almost every firm that comes out, the programs look somewhat similar, with the exception being that a lot of people have wondered why Apex hasn't launched their direct accounts yet. They have them in beta and they've been doing things with them, is because they're just still do well with the way they're structured, So anyhow, that was a good question, and now we know how to put questions in there. So I'm new here. I'm new year. Welcome to the new year. No. How do you keep to strict amount of size? You mean mentally, or you just do? So don't trade more than 3 micros. You're welcome. Okay? Don't trade more than 3 micros. If you're not having success yet, stay with the Dow Jones. Grab my ebook over there, Prop Done Right, and that should get you done. That'll be it for today. Thank you again, Calvin. Show me how to do that. I think we can now ask questions. We're all good. I've been using Tickblaze for about 3 months now. Very happy with it. Great. I love that. I know that people, I'm still occasionally having issues with it. It's a good platform, and the next thing to come with Tickblaze is a built-in copier. Once there's a built-in copier on Tickblaze, you're going to have a great opportunity to copy within prop accounts. I think if you want to copy across prop accounts, I would check out either TradeSyncer or Thor. I know some people are still thinking that ETP is okay, but it's really, I think Thor is going to end up being a lot better. Every time I mention Thor, you're like, you were going to tell us more about it. I'm just too busy. I'll get to it eventually. I'll do a review. I'll spend more time with it. I can tell you that when I connect a lot of things on Thor, like when I connect Project X to Ninja, or when I connect to Tradevate to a DX feed, I personally have problems still figuring out what the effing positions are. There's just a lot of interconnectivity going on there. So for me, the simplest thing to do is still to use built-in copiers like Project X or Quant Tower, or plugins like Replicanto or affordable indicators. And I know no one even asked about copiers, but I got on that there. All right, that'll be it for today. Stay green, trade like you mean it. Again, all the information down below, including, just going to leave this open because it seems to be pretty popular. Even if you haven't done a trial, I would highly recommend just come in. It will be the best $249 you've ever spent. I promise you. If you put in the work, I promise you. $249 gets you 3 months in the trade room. That'll take you through the beginning of next year. Plus, you get access to the indicators. Plus, you get lifetime Discord. Plus, you get a bunch of other good things. And then eventually, if you decide that you want to join the group forever, become a lifetime member, we're adding all kinds of new benefits to that. And yes, for all the haters, I am pushing that. I don't sell courses. I don't sell hopes and dreams. I don't sell bots. I don't sell indicators. I don't sell any of that stuff. All that I sell, and I proudly sell and offer, is one-to-many mentorships to be able to come in and see what I did today in the Russell, see that again and again and again and again and again. And we only talk about the same thing every day. We talk about what is the volatility profile. In other words, how much ATR is going on. What's the average true range that we expect over this 23-hour session? What is the prior session's high and low? When we're inside the prior session's high and low, as we started today, it gives us a much better opportunity to trade those particular ranges. All right. And then from there, we just use volatility and volume using mostly order flow VWAP stuff on Ninja, or you can do it on other places. And we have a very simple trading strategy that just allows you to understand where you should look to be a seller in the market, where you should look to be a buyer in the market, and where you should eventually stay out, which is don't fiddle in the middle. It's very simple. I could teach it to an 8-year-old. I don't know why more of you don't teach your kids the rules and let them trade for you, because they probably do a lot better just playing the video game. That's all you really have to do. Establish, protect, and respect a daily risk budget, and have a trading strategy that puts odds in your favor. All right, that'll be it for today. Stay green, trade like you mean it. We'll see you at the next one. Be good. Bye-bye.